gonna try the sunroof Camaro. See how it goes. Everybody is running. Must say I did appreciate the night off the gym, or the day off the gym, I guess. Oof, that exhaust just never gets old. So welcome back to another video. Today it's probably gonna be a longer video because I want to go over the 5 main reasons I chose to buy a Camaro, and possibly the only car that I would have considered in replacement for the Camaro, which is not a Mustang, by the way. It was actually the Chevy SS, 4-door sedan with the LS3. My only issue with the LS is they don't sell it in Canada, so that automatically became a no-go. But to me, that's kind of like a budget CTSV. It's a pretty good-looking car, nothing too over the top, not Camaro, you know, angry looking or anything, but just a nice car. It had all the right things and the same drivetrain and all that good stuff. But anyways, back to the video. So why did I buy a Camaro, and what was I looking for in an automobile, and how did I ultimately decide on buying this car? One thing I really wanted, and a lot of people totally disputed, was efficiency. Fuel efficiency. Why would you buy a 455 horsepower 2-door coupe and want efficiency? Well, why would you buy a 4-door sedan to move your kids around and want efficiency? Because driving is expensive. Gas is expensive. In Canada, it's quite expensive. And a lot of people don't think the AFM does much. They put delete kits on so that it doesn't. I think that is a waste of time. I really like the fact that it shuts down to 4 cylinders. I think it works really well. And it does make a big difference on the estimated fuel range. I drove about 30 kilometers this morning and knocked 8 kilometers off of my range. So I have kind of the best of both worlds here. I can burn gas when I want and need to pass or have fun on a nice road, but then when I'm just trying to go from point A to point B, I'm on a highway, there's no exciting driving or anything like that, I put it in cruise. I've got it right here, and it will go from like 12.1 liters per 100 kilometers, and it'll drop down to like 5. So it is about 50% better on gas, and it's getting almost the same fuel economy as the Chevy Cruze to do, you know, an equivalent driving, which to me is important because this is my only car. I'm driving this day in and day out, so the less money I have to spend, the better. Number 2, why I bought this was the performance. I drove the V6. It was excellent. It was a very quick car. I did not drive the 2-liter turbo. None of the dealerships I was at when I was driving the cars had one, so I never got the opportunity to drive it. The dream was to own the V8. The dream was the LT1 V8. I've fallen in love with it in the Corvette, and I wanted that if I could make it happen. The insurance was almost the exact same, regardless of what I bought. This was actually cheaper than my old car because it has the blind spot detection and the rear view camera and all that. So from a performance perspective, the V8 really was just the ideal situation and the ideal choice. The magnetic ride control is amazing. The brakes are amazing. Everything about the car is really good. And I was really pleased with all of that. Number 3, was the looks. I really love this two-door coupe. I really wanted a two-door coupe, but I wanted the 2+2. As you've seen in one of my other videos, you can fit children back there. I've had my dad back there, I've had my girlfriend back there. I mean, I do put people back there from time to time, and it works very well. It's not the ideal situation for, you know, long trips or, you know, whatever, but for what I'm doing, it works really well. And when I do get to the point I have a family, I can still put the car seats back in there, and this car doesn't become a total waste of time, which is a huge plus for me as well. Reason number 4 is comfort. I definitely wanted an incredibly comfortable vehicle. I have some mobility issues in my hips, so it was very key that if I get a car that I'm sitting in and I want to go do 3, 4, 5 hours in it and drive, the seats have to be top notch. And I've sat in a whole bunch of different cars, and I can't say I've ever sat in a car that was this comfortable. These seats are spectacular. They're supportive, they're sporty, but they're very, very well cushioned and proportioned, and everything about them is really good. And then everything in the cockpit's very comfortable. The steering wheel is awesome. I mean, to hold it at the 9 and 3 here for 20, 30, 40 minutes, it just feels great. The car handles and steers great, so there's very little input required. Everything is within one arm's reach, you know, and there's very few buttons in this car, and I've gotten a lot of comments on that and how the different systems work and what they've put in the settings and the infotainment and what they've left on the buttons on the bottom, but it's very, very simple. And for a guy that has issues bending his legs and getting in and out of cars, it was important for me to have a car that had long doors, because that means you have to, you know, do less of the fetal position to get in and out. I tried sitting in a number of the different trucks and all that, and they're just too high up, the doors are too short, it just doesn't work well for me. The running boards on the side of a pickup truck don't work well when you can't put your pressure on your right leg. So the car became more of a logical decision, but then most 4-door sedans have short doors, so it's kind of a never-ending battle, where the 2-door coupe was just kind of the best I was going to get. I mean, my hips are screwed up, I'm going to end up with hip replacements. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm young and I'm dealing with it and putting up with it and whatever, so it's not an issue today. And then number 5 was the tech. I really wanted to, I mean, most new cars have most of the new features, but Apple CarPlay did not become a thing until 2016. So then, do you buy a 2015 and drop $1,000 on a deck that you can have Apple CarPlay, or do you just buy the 2016 that comes with it? I mean, the new tech, 2016 feels like the next new generation. When I was car shopping, when I was car shopping, it was, I've been trying to teach myself car markets, and when you buy a car, you're investing in a company, you're investing in, you know, whatever state that company's in, and you're funding whatever they're doing. And GM went through their bailouts in 2008, so the 4-year surrounding period in that meant that the first Camaro come out was really, really budget. They put it on the Pontiac chassis, they did this, they did that, they did the other. The car looks great. I'm not going to sit here and trash talk any 5th gen Camaros. The car looks great. The ZL1 had great performance numbers. Lots and lots of people have had fun with them and, you know, tuned them up and done all that. Armageddon ZL1's one. He's got, you know, 800 horse to the crank, and his car is insanely fast and it looks outstanding. But the new cars are just that better level of refinement. The strong sales from 2010 onwards with the more modern GM vehicles have funded a better car than I'm currently driving. And it feels it, it looks it, it performs it, and and the numbers don't lie as far as all that's concerned. So I was really pleased when I seen the tech in this car, and it has, you know, all the bells and whistles an Escalade has, for the most part. There's a few small things like the 360 cameras and that kind of stuff, but I'm sure that'll be in the ZL1 or whatever, and some of the higher end stuff. But I mean, I really just fell in love with the car. And I had my 5 points I wanted to meet. I wanted to be able to afford to drive it around. I wanted to be comfortable driving it around. I wanted to be able to plug my phone in, a great stereo system. The 11 speaker Bose in this is absolutely top notch. And then I got a few extra bells and whistles that I didn't anticipate because I bought this car when the model year was ending. So I saved, you know, thousands of dollars, and the dealerships are way more negotiable, and the interest rates come down, and the car becomes much more realistic. So getting things like the sunroof, which I didn't think I'd ever want, or the magnetic ride control. I mean, I can honestly say that I haven't driven enough of the different Camaros to say that magnetic ride control is all that in a slice. It works really well. I've been absolutely astonished. I can keep it in track mode and hit a set of train tracks at 50 kilometers an hour, 60 kilometers an hour, and not want to kill myself afterwards. It absorbs, it dampens, it does everything it needs to do, and the car continues on completely poised as though nothing happened, and works really well. Everybody seems to brag who has driven both cars back to back. I don't know. It just does a great job. Right now I'm in 4-cylinder mode, going down this hill, cruising on the highway here. I mean, it's just a great car to drive. It's very easy, it's very approachable. You drive it like a sane human being, and it's very, very comfortable and smooth. But then when you lay into it, it's just awesome. The power on this car is insane. And the ZL1's coming out. I couldn't even imagine. Oh. Perhaps I'll set my sights at a 7th gen ZL1. 5 or 6 years from now, depending on where my life is, I guess. Oh, the exhaust crackle during the downshift is outstanding. Nothing about this car I can really gripe about. And then some of the things that I don't like is more or less just personal taste. Storage in the trunk, I posted a vlog about it I think yesterday or so. And the storage in the trunk is tough because the car is so good. And there isn't hook points or tie down points or really anything for the trunk to secure the load in the trunk. That's a bit of an issue. But I'll end up making something, and I'll do a video on it, pose a few different options. I've bought some hardware that I would like to configure into the trunk. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, guys, I've appreciated the comments and the subscribes and the likes and all of that good stuff. Some of your comments have been flattering and insightful. I do appreciate when I don't know things, people informing me. It does help, because as much as I love this car and I've done tons of research and I own the car and I'm playing with the car, there's a lot of things I don't know and haven't played with yet. I just got my MyLink app set up on my phone. I'll go over that. That was really cool. And the OnStar set up with the Wi-Fi and all that good stuff. So more things to play with and learn. So anyways, guys, thanks for tagging along. I'll talk to you later.